and tried in the second half match Aaron's minutes for Jimmy Butler's, feeling that was our best matchup for him. But, I felt, you mentioned Reggie, he had the big 7 points in a row, big three. I thought Christian, his game, Peyton, Justin, they didn't make shots early on, but the effort was there all night long. And to start the road trip off, not only with the win, but holding them to 88 points. I think it's 42 from the field, only 23 from the three-point line. That was just a tremendous defensive effort for 4 quarters, and good way to start a very important road trip for us. Yeah.
What does it kind of mean for him to have that, a stretch like that, to see everyone?
Well, yeah, we're a family, and a lot of people say that, but I think our group is really connected, and we don't just play with each other. I think. What? But I think the best teams, the closest teams, really do have a brotherhood. And I think everybody knows that Reggie's been struggling to make shots, never for a lack of effort. The guy's in the gym all the time. And the funny thing is I had Jamal Murray and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope at the scorer's table during that stretch. And this speaks a lot about our group. Both those guys said to me, Coach, let Reggie ride, let CB ride. This group is playing well. And, part of our culture, because we do have a culture in Denver as well, part of our culture is being selfless, getting over yourself. And I think that, that's another example of how our team is always getting over the individual, thinking about the collective. And, really happy for Reggie Jackson. It hasn't been an easy stretch for him, but he showed out in the fourth quarter of a really important game for us.
You know how tough it is to play Miami with the way they collapse on Nikola. How valuable are these kind of games against those kind of teams? Because it shows you can play any way you want.
Yeah, if you want to be a champion, and for us, if you want to be a team that can repeat as champions, you have to be able to win on the road and win different types of games, to your point, Vic. And some nights it's going to be a rat race, it's going to be up and down, and other nights it's going to be a dogfight in the half court, possession by possession. And it seems like every time we play against Miami, I think we beat them in game 1, 103-97, and tonight is 100-88. So,
oh no!
Adebayo's a hell of a defender. They do a really good job of limiting Nikola's looks. But other guys, Michael Porter gets 25, Aaron 16, Jamal 14, and the bench comes up big, especially late in the game. So that's what you need. If teams are going to sell out and take Nikola away, somebody else has to step up and help carry the load. And we had plenty of examples of that this evening.
Erik, you sort of addressed this pregame also about being able to finish, being able to step up. For 40 minutes, you went toe-to-toe with the defending champions. Then what happened?
Uh-oh.
Then they do what they've done a lot this year. They've had quite a few of these games, where they've been in the balance, and then when they want to put on the Jets. They've been able to leave teams behind the dust. And that's what it felt like tonight. It felt like they just flipped a switch in those last 4 minutes. Jackson was a big part of it. Murray was on the bench, and they were basically running those typical two-man actions that they run with Murray and Jokic, but they did it with Jackson, and he was doing his best facsimile.
What did you say?
Of Murray. And then at that point, it just created enough juice and separation that they had that extra kick, down the stretch. And clearly it was a struggle for us to score. We had moments, and that's fine, actually, like if we could have kept it in the mud. But they had their burst, and then we stayed where we were, and that was basically the game.
I know it's kind of what Denver does, but what did they do to keep you guys off the three-point line for most of the night?
Yeah, that is what they do. To me, it felt like We passed up some open threes. I don't think it would have been 43-point attempts, but certainly, it should have been 10, 12 more. Passed up open ones and then drove it into their size. If you pass up, some open ones, you're not going to get a better one. And there were definitely, probably a half dozen of those where we end up getting a worse shot by passing up one. And that also keeps the defense honest. You have to work all different aspects.
Do you know what time it is?
We weren't necessarily able to do that tonight, and that's a credit to Denver. I said that when we played them in Denver. They're one of the more underrated defensive teams, and since All-Star break, they've kind of turned it on that side of the floor. So we couldn't get into our normal, rhythm. We certainly needed to, take a few more of them.
I suppose speaking of their defense, Jimmy only had 2 free throw attempts tonight. They've been a little down over the last 4 games or so. Is there a common thread there as to why?
Yeah, I don't know. But, I think that's an adjustment from the league. Staff has been talking about that I didn't receive a memo about it. But it's clear that they're calling it a little bit more like that. So, hey, we have to make the adjustment. And I think that's a good adjustment. Go to score, not necessarily to draw fouls. Now, Jimmy's got a rugged game, so he's not going to draw fouls. He's going to wherever the contact may be. And, yeah, from my vantage point, it looks like some of those, are fouls. Certainly in the last 3 or 4 games, that those were typically, fouls. But that's not why we're losing games. He'll make the adjustment, whether he has to just go into shot-making mode. That might have to be the adjustment. I have to do a better job guys into their strength zones where we can still be aggressive and attack, but hit different parts of our menu. And we'll get to work on that. Yes, it's frustrating, but all we're going to focus on is what we can do to get better and have a great road trip.